Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. The time is now 10:12. And I am here with you on P Stars Radio. For those of you who are not familiar with me yet, my name is Brother Ricky. Yep, that is right, Brother Ricky. And as always, I am happy and blessed to be with you this morning. I'm blessed to be with you this morning here to share with you all the news that I have to offer you about sports. Now, I want to start off with this. For those of you that are in the West Palm Beach area or in the the state of Florida, as we all know, there is a hurricane that is taking place, and I wish and ask that you all please continue to be careful. Please be safe as this hurricane is going on right now. As of now that we speak, we want to make sure that everybody is, well taken care of. Everybody's safe, and everybody isn't out if they don't need to be, right? Because we want to make sure everybody is, safe and perfectly fine, right? We all have one body, one life, and we want to take care of that as much as possible. So, I would like to start off with the WNBA playoffs. The WNBA playoffs are now underway, right? And we are now already advanced into the semifinals of the WNBA playoffs, where 4 teams are left to face each other off. Well, not all consecutively, but 2 teams going up against each other, and the other 2 teams going up against each other, just so we can see who will reach to the WNBA finals. Now, honestly, this does seem a bit too quick to me. Granted, the WNBA season has started way earlier as compared to the NBA season, because we are just getting ready to start the preseason of the NBA in a few days, if not weeks. Right, that is correct. So, the remaining teams now for the WNBA playoffs will be the New York Liberty facing off against the Las Vegas Aces, and the Minnesota Lynx going up against the Connecticut Suns. Now, with these remaining teams in the NBA or WNBA playoffs, their respective teams that they have defeated were the New York Liberty going up against the Atlanta Dreams, right? And that playoff series tend to have been on the New York Liberty side. It's favored this team, New York Liberty, very, very, very favorably, having it being a complete sweep, because the Atlanta Dream hasn't had at least a single win going up against the New York Liberty, which means that, this team, having, especially Sabrina Ionescu, right, that three-point shooting goddess, her being on that court, just shooting lights out, is crazy. If you're not aware of who Sabrina Ionescu is, she is a magnificent three-point shooter, very talented, and having her on that team, I would have suspected it would have been a win regardless, but a sweep is a different story. A sweep is a different story, and that's what the New York Liberty has done to the Atlanta Dream to advance to the semifinals of the playoff series of the WNBA. And then the Las Vegas Aces defeating the Seattle Storm was also pretty much the same outcome, right? It was a complete sweep. And when I say complete, I mean complete automatic by default sweep. Respectfully, I don't want to shoot any teams down, right? I'm sure the Seattle team is a very great team as well, right? But if you've already heard me bring up this player before, then you're going to hear me bring her up again. And that is A'ja Wilson, who plays for the Las Vegas Aces. I'm pretty sure she's delivered like nothing. I'm sure you guys heard me bring her up before. She also is a very talented player. Extremely talented player. And to now realize that these two players, Sabrina and Asia, going up against each other in the WNBA semifinals of the playoff series is going to be something that I'm going to be very interested in seeing. I am not going to lie. These are two very talented players, and they're going to be facing head-to-head, toe-to-toe in their upcoming match in the semifinals to see who will advance to the WNBA finals. So, I implore you, I encourage you, I beg you to keep your eyes peeled for this matchup between the New York Liberty and the Las Vegas Aces, who will be going up against each other to see who will come out on top to advance to the the WNBA finals. And then the other team, Minnesota Lynx and the Connecticut Suns, right? They had their respective matches as well. It seems like every team was almost a sweep. Almost or completely, right? Because, you know, the Connecticut Suns defeated the Indiana Fever, which hold the player Caitlin Clark, which I'm very, very, very sad to hear that they have been completely eliminated out of the WNBA playoffs by the Connecticut Suns. Excuse me, because as we already know, or as we may not know, or may know, Caitlin Clark has officially won Rookie of the Year. Now, don't say, okay, I'm not going to say, I told you so. Who am I kidding? I told you so. Caitlin Clark, we all knew from the beginning of the season that Caitlin Clark was going to win Rookie of the Year. Like, this was a no-brainer. This is not rocket science. Because Caitlin Clark alone has brought millions of viewership to each and every single game. Caitlin Clark is extremely talented just for her rookie season. She's coming with multiple triple-doubles, right? She's coming with multiple record-breaking performances in the league, right? This wasn't rocket science or something that nobody would have ever figured out. Caitlin Clark was, how can I say this? Caitlin Clark was destined, yes. Caitlin Clark was destined to win Rookie of the Year. That is by default. So, yeah, that's congratulations to her. Very well deserved. But it is very unfortunate that is where the season for the Indiana Fever has ended after losing to the Connecticut Suns in the playoffs. I would have loved to see Caitlin Clark continue her performances throughout the playoff series, coming into the semifinals, and who knows, they could have made it to the WNBA finals, right? But it seems like this is their stop, losing to the Connecticut Suns as they advance to the semifinals to go up against the Minnesota Lynx. And the Minnesota Lynx, they've defeated the Phoenix Mercury, right? So after them defeating the Phoenix Mercury, now it's the Connecticut Suns versus the Phoenix Mercury, who will be going up against each other in the semifinals. And depending on the outcome of that match, who comes out on top for that match, they will now advance to the finals to go up against either New York Liberty or Las Vegas Aces, depending on who wins that match to advance to the finals. So, again, I implore you, I encourage you, and I beg you, keep your eyes peeled for these matches. I, for one, will keep my eyes peeled for the New York Liberty and the Las Vegas Aces, because I really want to see Sabrina go toe-to-toe with Asia Wilson. Sabrina Ionescu going up against Asia Wilson for the semi-playoffs of the WNBA Finals or NBA playoff series. I'm excited to see that. Me, personally. I don't know about y'all, but I'm excited to see that for sure. Now, as I've already brought up to you before, right? Caitlin Clark winning the Rookie of the Year for her 2024 rookie season. These were her stats, right? Now, her stats for the entirety of the regular season was 19.2 points, 5.7 rebounds, 8.4 assists, and 1.3 steals. Excuse me. Now again, looking at these stats, right? With this being her rookie season, because this is her first season in the WNBA. Excuse me. With this being her first season in the WNBA, these are stats that sit perfectly well, or maybe not. These stats sit well with Caitlin Clark, with this being her rookie season in the WNBA, right? And now her winning this Rookie of the Year award, it all makes sense. It all makes sense. Again, she is talented. She is the first or number one pick in the WNBA to play for the Indiana Fever. She's brought in a lot of viewership. Her alongside Angel Reese and Cameron Brink, although Cameron Brink has had an early injury that has ended her career, or not her career, but ended her season, her rookie season, and Angel Reese soon after having an injury that also ended her season as well. These three individuals, especially Caitlin Clark, has brought in a lot of viewership to the WNBA. And honestly, I think that is a very good accomplishment and a very good start off for the WNBA, because before, no hate, and this is no hate to the WNBA either, before, not a lot of, I guess in my opinion, not a lot of eyes were being, directed towards the WNBA. Not a lot of people were coming in to watch the WNBA. As of now that we've had these three rookie players coming into the league, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Cameron Brink, and all the other players that have been drafted, the viewership has now been skyrocketing, right? It has now been going up. A lot of people are coming in, and a lot of people are tuning in to watching these young athletes play, and that has now brought in a lot of viewership, a lot of, I guess you could say sponsorships, right? And a lot of attention to the league. So that's a congratulations to the WNBA, and that is a great feat, or a great accomplishment, I think, in my opinion, so far, right? So congratulations to Caitlin Clark, congratulations to the WNBA, and I hope that this continues to keep the same pace for future seasons in the league. Now, I will be moving on to retirements. Right? We have a few people that are retiring from the league, and I want to say this, right? I'm going to almost sound like I'm at a funeral. It is with a heavy heart. It is with a heavy heart and a heavy burden that Derrick Rose will officially be retiring from the NBA after 16 seasons. That is right. That is correct. And you heard me clearly. Derrick Rose will sadly be retiring from the NBA after 16 seasons. The veteran player who has played 16 seasons in the NBA has now officially hung his cape. He has hung, his jersey. And he is finally making his exit out of the league. Now, this is the former MVP. Right? He's played 16 seasons in the NBA. Last team played was for the Memphis Grizzlies after being waived. And I think that during Derrick Rose's prime time in the league, that was something to see. That was something to watch. Him playing with the Chicago Bulls was pretty much everything for a lot of fans, coaches, players, whatever. Him during his prime was everything, right? Playing in the Bulls with the amount of attention, the amount of intensity, the amount of grind that he had playing during his prime, that was a sight for my eyes. The same way it could have been a sight for a lot of people's eyes watching him play during that time, right? After 16 seasons in the NBA, he is now getting ready to retire. And so I wish this man a great retirement, right? I'm still trying to figure out what could be left of his story, after the NBA because, again, he was a very, very, very talented player. There's a reason why he was the MVP, why he was an MVP, during his former years. But now that he's getting ready to retire, I do wish him the best of luck. I wish him the best in his endeavors for him and his family. And, yeah, man, 16 seasons. 16 seasons, former MVP. He hasn't quite won an NBA Finals. And that's something that I really wish that I could have seen. I could have seen it put on his resume. I don't know if he's Hall of Fame. Again, I'm not trying to throw shots at, players left and right. I'm not trying to do that, but I don't know for sure if he's Hall of Fame worthy. I don't know. I still have to do a little bit of research to see what he has done or contributed into the league to, be Hall of Fame, right? Because, again, he was only MVP, right? But he's never made any finals appearances, at least not that I'm aware of, right? So I don't know if he's Hall of Fame worthy, but who knows? I might be wrong. But, again, I wish him the best, and I wish him and his family the best as well. Also, another person who's also retiring, he may not be retiring from the game itself, but he is retiring from the news aspect, the news portion, and that is Adrian Wojnarowski. Now, Adrian Wojnarowski, I'm probably butchering his last name, but this individual here is retiring from the NBA News Network for ESPN. Now, this person, Adrian, his last name for short is Woj. But this individual here, he is what you call our reliable source. Any information that we got to know about regarding players, trades, right? Free agency, people being waived from different teams. This person, Adrian, is our reliable source. This is the source, the person that we go to get all of our information regarding players, anything really regarding basketball, sports, and all that, right? That is who this person is. And he's been doing this for quite some time now, a very long time. And Adrian Woj is now preparing to retire from this as well. He's retiring from the NBA News Network, working alongside ESPN. And he's getting ready to join the general managing crew of, let me see if I remember correctly. Yes, he's becoming a general manager, of a basketball team at St. Bonaventure University. Yes, that is correct. He's becoming a general manager for a basketball team at St. Bonaventure University. And that is where he will be continuing his career moving forward, right? So he's retiring from the NBA News Network for ESPN and is now entering a general managing position for a basketball team at a university at St. Bonaventure University. So for this individual as well, I wish him the best of luck. This is the person that I would always go to find my sources or to find information regarding who's being traded, right? What team is acquiring who's in free agency, and who's deciding to waive certain players out of their respective team. So now that he's gone, I don't know who's going to be his replacement, but for this individual as well, I wish him the best of luck. And whoever will be replacing him for this position, I hope I can rely on that person as well as my reliable source, because I don't want to be misinformed about certain things, right? Because I couldn't imagine I saw news saying that Stephen Curry is being traded to the Lakers. I would go crazy. And then to later find out that information is false, man, I would be upset. Because I do not want Curry to go to the Lakers. I want Curry to stay exactly where he's at right now with the Golden State Warriors. Because for those of you who do not know, the Golden State Warriors is my team. And no, I'm not a bandwagon. I am not a bandwagon. But Golden State Warriors, Stephen Curry, That's me for life. I'm sorry. But yeah, so I hope the person that they find to replace Adrian Waj, the person that they find, I hope that I can rely on this information or this source as well for future news about whatever happens in the NBA. So I'll be moving on. New York, or should I say for the football, this is for the football now, right? New York West Point Army is, as we may all know, very talented. They beat us, FAU, for our first game, right? They beat us, and now the record is now at 4-0. This team has not lost once at all. They've had 4 straight wins and 0 losses, especially after beating us. Because I can't be too embarrassed now about losing to this team, because this team is clearly talented, right? With 4 wins and 0 losses, this team is clearly talented. And yesterday they just defeated Temple University, right? With the score of 42-14. They beat the Temple University with 42 and then 14, which now gives them the record 4-0. Literally no losses at all whatsoever. So this team is very talented, and I don't know if we're going to go up against them again in the near future, but if we are to, then FAU has some catching up to do, because we are now sitting at 1-3. We only had 1 win, yes, 1 win and 3 losses. 1 win for FAU and 3 losses. So if we are to play New York West Point Army again, we have to catch up. And so tomorrow we have our next match. Tomorrow FAU will be going up against Wagner at 6 p.m. Now again, our record is 1-3 and Wagner is 2-2. So the team that we will be going up against tomorrow has 2 wins and 2 losses. Now if everything goes correct, if everything goes great, they're going to have 2 wins and 3 losses, assuming that FAU beats them tomorrow. And I really hope that FAU will beat them tomorrow. I, for one, will be there, because I have a class during that time where I will be filming with ESPN and taking game footage of this game that's happening between FAU and Wagner. So, assuming everything goes right, FAU will now be 2-3, and Wagner will be 2-3. It's the same thing. FAU will now have 2 wins and 3 losses, and Wagner will have 2 wins and 3 losses. It'll be an exact replica of each other. Again, assuming everything goes right. And I hope everything goes right. I hope everything goes in our favor and we win. So keep an eye out for that. Now, moving on to the NBA preseason. As the preseason gets closer and closer in a matter of a few days, here's my predictions as to what we will be seeing coming into the NBA as we get close to the regular season. These are my predictions. If you agree with me or disagree with me, that is your business. But this is what and I'm calling it too. I'm calling this. This is what I think will happen and what we will see coming into the NBA season. 1, Reed Shepherd, the rookie for the Houston Rockets, I think will win Rookie of the Year. Whether you agree with me or disagree with me, let me know what you think, okay? But I think Reed Shepherd will win Rookie of the Year for the Houston Rockets. Nikola Jokic, who plays for the Denver Nuggets, I think that he will win the MVP for the NBA season, the regular season. Now, if you guys disagree with me, some of you might say Joel Embiid is going to take it. Some of you might say another player, like maybe Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Maybe he might take it because he was a contender for last season's MVP, right? But you might say he's going to be the MVP. That is your prediction. Again, let me know what you guys think, but I think Nikola Jokic is going to get MVP for this regular season. And now for the in-season tournament, I think the champs are going to be the Indiana Pacers. Now, why do I say this? It's because last season, the Indiana Pacers went up against the Lakers, and the Lakers beat them. So I think that this is personal. I think that this is very personal for the Indiana Pacers and Tyrese Halliburton. And so I think that they're going to run it back again this year. And this time, I think they're going to secure this year's in-season tournament championship. That's my prediction. Again, let me know what you guys think about that. But I think that the Indiana Pacers are going to win this year's in-season tournament championship. And now, for the NBA Finals, who I think will take it this year, or next for 2025, who I think will win the NBA Finals, call me crazy, but I think the Boston Celtics are going to take it again this year. Now, the reason why I say this is because it's happened before. Who did this before? My team, the Golden State Warriors. They did this before. Back-to-back, I believe. 2017 and 20... I hear a lot of haters. I can already hear a lot of haters as well. But the Golden State Warriors has done this before too. And so who is to say that Boston Celtics can't do this again? Who knows? As of now, the Boston Celtics is the greatest team by far. Right now, the Boston Celtics has a very structured team, and this team that they have is currently, in my opinion, the best team as of now. With that being said, this could be a two-peat or a repeat for the Boston Celtics. They could get this NBA championship all over again, back to back. But I don't know. That's just me. That's my prediction. You guys let me know what you think. And we have this discussion through Facebook or YouTube itself. All right. So that's all my take for today so far. And as per usual, I will leave you all with a Bible verse for the day. And this Bible verse will be coming from Psalms 37, verses 23 through 24. Allow me to repeat this again. Psalms 37, verses 23 through 24. And it reads, "The Lord makes firm the steps of the one who delights in him. Though he may stumble, he will not fall, for the Lord upholds him with his hand." Allow me to read that for you one more time. And it reads, "The Lord makes firm the steps of the one who delights in him. Though he may stumble, he will not fall, for the Lord upholds him with his hand." Now, pay attention to this, right? We will have setbacks in our lives, right? We may have times where we may make certain mistakes, right? We may make mistakes. We may have certain failures in our lives, right? We may have times where we come short, because all of us have come. We all have come short, right? In something in life. But what we have to know and understand is that God will never let us fall. He will never let us fall, and He will never abandon us, if that's a good way to put it. He will never let us fall, and He will never abandon us in our track, right? Because God always has our backs, and that's how I like to put it. God always has my back. Through whatever failure or whatever situation or whatever setback I might go through, God always has my back. And you have to believe that God always has your back too. So you could fail at whatever in life, right? You could have a certain setback, a certain inconvenience that you have in your life, but God will never let you, He will never let you down. He will never leave you on your own, and He will never leave you in your tracks. He will always be there to give you that little push, right? He will always give you that support, because he is our support system. God is my support system. He will be your support. He will be your push. He will be there to encourage you, right? He will be there to direct you, because that's what he reads. He's there to make firm your steps. So wherever you go, he is there to make your steps and your tracks clear and on point, so that he knows where you're going and he directs you exactly to where he wants you to go, right? So we always have to remember, it doesn't matter how many times we could fail, how many times we could make a mistake, how many times it may seem that we should give up. God will always be there to push you, direct you, move you, and encourage you through whatever obstacle, whatever setback, and whatever failure. Because understand this, you are not a failure. You are not a failure, and you will never be a failure, not when you have God by your side. Always remember that, and keep that to heart. If you have the chance, go look through this verse yourself. Again, it is Psalms 37, verses 23 through 24. Psalm 37, verses 23 through 24. Look it over yourself. Reflect on that. And yeah, I love you guys. I will be with you here again next Friday around the same time at around 10 to bring you all the news that I have for you regarding sports and so on and so forth. I love you guys again, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.